This is a tweet, man, from the IDF. It says Israeli civilians are currently being targeted by the Iranian regime. The world cannot stay silent. So apparently those dots are the targets that, I guess Iran is trying to hit. Um, but okay. But the last part got me. The world cannot stay silent. I mean, like, first of all, like, the world, to be honest with you, has been silent for a very long time when you occupied what it was Palestine, and then you did see a little bit of, um, ethnic cleansing tactics, and now you're doing a full scale ethnic cleansing, um, and now nobody gives a shit about you. Oh my God, man! Like the world cannot stay silent. Yeah, we can't stay silent much longer about the genocide that you guys are forcing upon the people in Gaza. Um, so yeah, man. This is I'm gonna talk about anyway. It's about the Israel-Iran conflict. Typical Twitter right here, right? Look at this. This is still on their page. Iran military watch. Now, I disclaimer. I don't know if this is the actual real Iran military site. I mean, military page. It could be made up. At first, when I saw this, I thought Twitter had suspended the account because Twitter, even though Elon claimed that it was going to be less suspensions, less type of punishment. It's like it doubled, but this is another example of it. It says, caution, this account is temporarily restricted. You're seeing this warning because there has been some unusual activity from this account. Do you still want to view it? Yeah, and yeah, so I mean, I don't know why this is restricted. I think it's damn. You'll think they're just coming out saying the shit that we all been thinking about Israel and their leaders, right? They're not saying that, but yeah. The craziest thing is, why you like really the IDF should be restricted. To be honest with you, but again, um, of course, right? So yeah, man, I got some clips, man. Them rockets on the ground, boy. I'm telling you, those missiles on the ground. Start with this one. It says breaking cries of relief echo through Gaza as residents watch Iranian missiles heading towards Tel Aviv. I mean, you can't blame them. Hey, you know, I think the reason why they probably cheering for that is because I mean, they live in it. Hey, they saying like, damn, Iran is really on our side. Like, damn, this is big. But let me get to this next one right here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, before I finish playing this, I heard that Israel threatened to arrest their own people for recording what Iran has done to Tel Aviv. Oh shit, that's crazy as hell. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna arrest this man too, for recording, the damage from the missiles. I mean, okay.
Yo! Yo! יא בני זונות, יו אני בהלם, אני בהלם, אני בהלם, יו, אני בשוק, אני בשוק, אני בשוק.
So yeah, that was real close to that person's apartment. Like, holy shit, that was real close, man. Damn. Here's another video. That was a quick video. Like, damn. Um, you know, to me, like Palestinians have been hearing bombs and drone strikes drop since what, almost 2 years now, and My thing is the chickens is coming home to roost. But anyway, let me play this another. So yeah, they say everyone to Iran right now, which is pretty accurate. In his, oh, I can't play that music. I forgot about that. It says Iran launched more than 295 ballistic missiles on Israel. Many hit Tel Aviv. So I'm in it there. Y'all saw the missiles being hit. You know, somebody probably watching this saying, "Oh, Andre, you rooting for war, man? I thought you was anti-war." First of all, I am anti-war. It's just that when you poke the bear, um, you're gonna get bit or mauled, and Israel's getting mauled right now currently. They thought I'm pretty sure they thought what happened with what happened last year when Iran hit a few retaliatory strikes. It really didn't hit. It hit. I think it hit military installations. It didn't really hit like it now hitting buildings and shit. They thought that was gonna happen, but they was wrong. And then Benjamin Netanyahu, bitch ass, gonna run like a little bitch to Greece. Oh boy, like it's crazy. This man is still out free, and this man got warrants for his arrest. Lord have mercy. But anyway, let me read these articles right quick, man. Then I'm gonna head on out. Um, um, it says it's an opinion piece. It says Israel started a war with Iran, but it doesn't know how it ends. It says the war between Israel and Iran marks the culmination of decades of shadow boxing between Tehran and Tel Aviv. This is a war that had long worn the mask of deniability, played out in assassinations, cyber operations, and various forms of entanglements from Damascus to the Red Sea. It Its rules were unwritten but widely understood. Escalation without full rapture. But now it's unfolding in a surprise Israeli intelligence and military attack, which was met with an succinct, I can't even talk, subsequent Iranian retaliation between Israeli military installations and strategic infrastructure. While Israel's capacity for precise targeting, its assassinations of nuclear scientists, killing of Iranian commanders, and the strikes of enrichment sites has rarely been in doubt. Its broader strategic horizon remains unconspicuously blurred. Official Israeli communiques gestures with ritual ambiguity towards the language of victory and denying Iran nuclear capability, but the underlying ambition seems at once more elusive and more grandiose. The, excuse, the execution of a blow so decisive it will not only cripple Iran's nuclear program, but fracture its Islamic Republic's political resolve altogether. This, however, remains far from realized. Iran's underground facilities remain intact from its enrichment program. Far from being stalled, appears now to be ideologically and politically emboldened. Hesitations around the acquisitions of nuclear war will probably go or undergo a review. Iran, while suffering from a direct blow that crippled its chain of command and placed it on the defensive, was able to recuperate and launch several barrages of ballistic missiles into Israel. And yet, behind this Israeli um, choreography of operational tendency lies a quieter, more subterranean logic. It is it is not only Iran that Israel seeks to provoke, but the United States. If Israel cannot destroy uh, Natanz or Fordo on its own, it may will succeed in creating conditions under which Washington feels compelled to act in its stead. Which I'm gonna stop right there for a second. Like yes, like people been saying this for a while about Israel. Like Israel wants, well, Benjamin Netanyahu wants the United States to be the proxy for this war. Um, just like Russia and Ukraine. Like Ukraine is the proxy for the United States. You see what I'm saying? Like it works. It works in tandem like that. Like because Israel know it doesn't have the manpower, the weapons. They got them unfortunately, but it's still not enough. Like people don't understand. Like Iran's military. is actually trained to do things, like trained to actually be soldiers. As for Israel, like they soldiers just use bulldozers to run over activists, or or they be making TikToks about dancing on top of rubble of Palestinian dead Palestinians and stuff like that. Like that's the IDF. Like the IDF cannot cannot like no they ain't capable of doing this shit. Um, perhaps this perhaps is the real gambit. Not a direct confrontation with Iran, but the orchestration of an environment of urgency and provocation that makes American intervention at a minimum on the table. In other words, Israel military theatrics are a trap for the U.S. Um, Israel isn't simply assembling a reactive sequence of military gestures. It's a calibrated strategy of provocations that create the conditions for American leverage. Israel acts the United States, while normally uninvolved, capitalizes on the fallout and even invokes a scepter of its own military involvement as both a deterrent and a bargaining chip. Um, and right here it says the strikes are less than immediate tactical gains than they are about constructing a field of pressure. Their strategic ambiguity is weaponized to test red lines and gauge responses. So I'm gonna end there because I got a few more articles to read. But so yeah, basically it's saying that what Israel's doing is they're playing chess. Hey, let's fuck with Iran a little bit. Iran fucks with us. Then let's fuck with them a little bit. Then we can say, oh, we need help. Trump, can you bring your military in here and help us fight Iran? Then yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna read now. I'm finna pull up something from Al Jazeera. Uh, let me see. Yeah, I got two more articles here. Um, let me share my screen here. This from Al Jazeera. This came out today. This is the latest news. Um, it says Israel, Iran trade deadly strikes for fourth day with no signs of restraint. It says Israel has attacked a hospital in Iran and the building of Iranian state TV. Israel has struck, um, Iran has struck Haifa and the Tel Aviv area. That's a 20-minute video, so I ain't gonna play that. Uh, um, it says Israel has attacked civilian targets in Iran, striking a hospital and an Iranian state TV building as the intensive strikes against the other rage for a fourth consecutive day, with the military confrontation between the long-standing enemy showing no sign of ending. After those attacks, an Israeli army statement later Monday evening said air raid sirens were activated in several areas in the north of Israel following missile launches from Iran. It said a live broadcast on the Iranian TV station captured its most famous presenter on air saying that missiles incoming and scrambling away from an explosion took place and threw debris in the air. There are reports of casualties among journalists in the building. The strike came after a warning Monday from IDF Minister Israel Katz, who said the mouthpiece of Iranian propaganda incitement of the verge of disappearing is on the verge of disappearing. Katz later confirmed the Israeli military carried out the strike. I'm telling you, man, Israel, man, boy, okay. Iran also said Israel targeted a hospital on Monday in the country's west, condemning it as a war crime. Farabi Hospital in the city of Khamishiwa, in western Iran, was targeted by the Israeli regime aggressive attacks, says Ismail Bakiri, spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, adding that attacking hospitals along attacks on the residential areas is a gross violation of international law and a war crime. No, I can't play that, man. YouTube sensitive about stuff like that. It said Israel has reportedly bombed hospitals and medical facilities in the Gaza Strip during its 20-month-long military campaign in the Palestinian territory, despite those being protected under international law, which is bull crap. It says Iran's Fars news agency also reported on Monday that an Israeli attack targeted a military base in western Tehran. Iranian media also reported explosions in the eastern parts of the capital, which comes after the Israeli army issued a threat to parts of Tehran after bombing several areas of the city on Sunday. Iranian media reported that air defenses had been activated in western Tehran. Katz had threatened on Monday that the residents of Tehran would pay the price and soon for killing Israeli civilians in Iran's overnight missile attacks. Earlier, Iranian attacks on Israel Monday morning killed at least 8 people and wounded dozens, officials reported, while Tehran and Israeli attacks overnight hit military and civilian targets. The ongoing attacks started by Israel on Friday and followed by Iranian retaliatory attacks pushed the death toll in 4 days of open conflict between the foes close to 250. It says raised rhetoric emanating both countries following exchange attacks suggested there's little prospect of hostilities halting soon, with a risk of escalation into a wider regional conflict looming. Um, so yeah, and Iran part of BRICS too. So I heard China dropped them off some kind of package. We don't know what it was, but yeah, man. I'm gonna end it right there. I got one more article to read, man. Like this shit getting crazy by the day, man. Um, you know, I don't want this. Like people gotta understand. Like yeah, I'm on Twitter. I post about it. Um, and one thing that got me is that the woman off Big Bang Theory. What her name? I forgot that bitch name. Her name was Amy Farrah Fowler on Big Bang Theory. And remember, she came out with that book talking about little rockets, like hitting Gaza. Well, it's the opposite. Now, little rockets are hitting your country you support. Anyway, I got one more story. Um, let me see. It says Israel claims aerial superiority as over to Iran as Iran launches more missiles. Uh, um, I'm gonna play this video, man. I'm pretty sure corporate media is on the side of Israel anyway. So
strikes between Israel and Iran are intensifying this morning. The conflict between the two nations now entering its fourth day. Overnight, at least 8 people were killed following Iranian missile strikes on Israel. Israel's defense minister accused Iran of targeting civilians and threatened that, quote, residents of Iran would pay the price. As for Iran, state media there reports that more than 200 people have died since Israel began bombing Iran on Friday. A health ministry spokesman was quoted as saying civilians make up 90% of those casualties. Israel says the aim of its campaign is to eliminate Iran's nuclear facilities. The president of Iran told the country's parliament today that the country has no intention of seeking nuclear weapons. The U.S. has distanced itself from Israel's attacks as the Trump administration tries to pursue a nuclear deal with Tehran. NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley is live in Tel Aviv with the very latest. Matt.
the question is, how long? How long will Trump and Trump administration will resist? And then you got people in Congress want to pass a bill saying to give Trump full control over whether to start a war with Iran. We're pretty sure that's been influenced by the Israel lobby, right? So here we go.
Good morning. So what more can you tell us about the Iranian president's comments on its nuclear program made this morning? And just how much are these Israeli strikes actually impacting Iran's nuclear facilities?
Yeah, 2 very good questions, Joe, and really the questions everybody's asking. We don't know how much the Israeli attacks are setting back Iran's nuclear program, because the fact is that we have heard from the IAEA, and it seems as though Israel hasn't actually penetrated the underground facilities where most of the enrichment capabilities are being kept, and that would be at Natanz and Fordow. These places have, at least at Natanz, a surface level facility that was almost completely destroyed in the initial Israeli attacks early on Friday morning. It doesn't sound as though any of these attacks have penetrated below, and that is where we're seeing the most crucial reserves. Now, we've also heard that Iran's parliament is going to be tabling a bill to try to withdraw from the nuclear non-proliferation treaty. Now, that would be probably a several weeks long effort, but it goes to show that Iran has essentially given up its effort to try to comply with international nuclear rules, even though Iran's president has said they had no nuclear enrichment program. Important to note here, Joe, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has long accused the Iranians of being years, months, weeks away from being able to field some sort of nuclear weapon. He's been saying this since the early 1990s, and he's been wrong every time. So it's important to treat what he's saying now, that Iran was in breakout capability, was about to launch a nuclear weapon, or was about to create one, with some level of skepticism.
Yeah, but this Netanyahu's an idiot. Like, Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. Now, they have facilities to build nuclear weapons, which I guess you could say the Iran nuclear deal helped mitigate that, right? Until recently when Trump pulled out of it again. Well, did Biden? I don't even think Biden even pulled it back in it. See, I'm telling y'all, man, these people are the same. But yeah, you know, like really, to be honest with you, no country should have nuclear weapons. I mean, like all that waste, man. Like, damn, I really think if one of these countries drop a nuclear weapon, kiss Earth, Mother Earth goodbye, man. Like, kiss it goodbye. Like, cause why would Iran drop a nuclear weapon on Israel when you got Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza? Like, that don't make any sense. But anyway, but Benjamin Netanyahu, he's saying that to escalate war with Iran. That's why he said, Iran, they got some kind of nuclear weapons somewhere, Hey, come on, man. But anyway.
So, Matt, Israel launched the initial attacks. Iran has been ramping up its retaliatory strikes. I know you were forced to seek shelter in Israel throughout the weekend. Tell us more about that and just what's the feeling among civilians on the ground there?
Yeah, I mean, it's every day. We've been forced two or three times a day in order to try to hide. And one of the things when I was just coming out, I'm standing on my balcony right now, you could see interceptions above as I was trying to run for that safe room. So it's pretty threatening. And, a lot of the Israelis who share this bunker with me, they were pretty calm. They see this as sort of a typical thing, even though, this is something that you can actually hear.
Well, hold on. What happened to the Iron Dome that our tax dollars paid towards? I thought the Iron Dome was supposed to protect Israel, Damn, I don't have the video for it, but apparently, the Iron Dome didn't supposed to Iron Dome supposed to intercept the missiles. Apparently, the missiles still went through it like it was plastic. Oh God, man. You just can't make this shit up, man. I'm telling you.
Hear audibly from inside these very protected rooms, so it is frightening. But the fact is that the IDF has said that everybody who has died so far, and as you mentioned, there's been about 24, has died because they haven't reached the safety of these protected rooms.
So, Matt, when Israel first launched these attacks on Iran Friday, the Trump administration said the U.S. was not involved in the strikes, was not providing Israel with military assistance. We also learned this over the weekend. A U.S. official told NBC News President Trump in recent days vetoed Israel's plan to try and assassinate Iran's supreme leader. What more can you tell us about this plan and just how engaged is the U.S. in what's going on between Israel and Iran right now?
Yeah, I mean, that was something that was first reported by Reuters. Our own Von Hilliard backed it up. And, it's a pretty interesting little detail. The fact is that Donald Trump has given the green light, we know, to Israel's attacks on Iran, which is what set this whole thing off last Friday early morning. But whether or not Trump actually said that the Ayatollah wouldn't be killed, I mean, well, we know that from our own reporting that that is the case. But it goes to show that President Trump does have some level in which he's trying to restrain Benjamin Netanyahu. We have to remember here, the supreme guide of Iran, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, isn't just a political leader. He's also a spiritual leader for the about 10% of the Muslim world who are Shia Islamic. They don't all necessarily sort of revere this man, and Iran has a very unique political religious arrangement that allows for the reverence of the supreme guide, the supreme leader of Iran. But this would be kind of a big step if he were to be killed along with the rest of his generals and political leaders. it might invite more against Israel than they'd be willing to swallow.
Matt Bradley in Tel Aviv. Matt, thank you.
All right, y'all. So, that's it right there, man. So, oh boy, man, I'm not trying to be a doomer or anything, but man, World War III, man, World War III, man, is on the brink. We're on the brink, man. You know.